Draft your LCS team and earn money. Alpha Draft.
Annoying Invictus in that first match.
Yeah, they certainly did. We're actually jumping straight into Champion Select here as we get it underway, and Crystal's Draven still undefeated, 3-0.
Yeah, and is it going to get banned? They have an opportunity to ban it out, and that would be so much respect for Invictus Gaming if they were to take that one away, but I'm not sure whether they will because there's so many high-priority bans here, and that Gnar still could potentially go into the hands of Flandre.
Yeah, so on Snake's side, they've taken away Fizzly, Sin, as well as Maokai. Invictus Gaming electing to get rid of Rumble and Rek'Sai. What's another champion that starts with R really quickly that they can ban?
Rengar?
Damn.
They're not going to. The RRJ.
Actually looks like, wow, the insta-lock Jarvan coming through from Flandre. That can, of course, be Beast in the Jungle, who has played it terrifically. Or in the top lane, we've seen Flandre also take it quite aggressively.
Oh my goodness. And if we're going to talk about power picks, especially here in China, Gnar and Kassadin making it through the draft and making it to the second round of picks here as well. I'd be so surprised if Invictus Gaming didn't lock these in, and that could definitely solidify a possibility, most definitely, for a 1-1 here.
Yeah, it certainly does look that way. Actually going with, yeah, that's a really good combo as well with Lissandra. Yeah, that's really nice. Gnar is such a good... Gnar is such a solid laning champion that able to harass people out of lane and turns into a late game powerhouse. Much more a Pokemon champion than what Rumble is.
Yeah, which Pokemon do you think No, let's not go into that one. As we do cross over to Snake, and we'll see what they actually answer with here, because there are a lot of high priority picks to still go through. And I could imagine that Flandre may actually want that Kassadin.
Yeah, Flandre may look to take that one away. Beast actually looking at a Rengar here. So that will be Flandre on Jarvan, or Flandre on a very unique Rengar, which I don't think will happen. And
it's been a while since we've seen that in the top lane.
For Ella. And that's a very standard Chinese pick, very contested over here. And I like it, being able to get pairing up with... Actually, no, it's not going to be with a Rengar. Pairing up with a Kassadin does exactly the same thing, however, able to get those picks throughout the mid-game.
Yep, so Beast going to be jungling that... No, probably not. As Invictus Gaming going to have the next opportunity here to pick up a champion. Was hovering over that Draven. And I'd actually recommend that, because if they decide to go with an Ezreal, he's basically Draven food.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't think it would be an Ezreal that would come through. Maybe something a little bit more long range, like a Caitlyn. Try and get the lane bully in. They definitely need to try and take it to Crystal. Sivir is not the answer either, because we've seen it happen already. So keep rolling the dice, kid. You can find something eventually that could deal with it.
Yeah, quickly press that random button some more. Maybe a Malzahar could
No, the one
through.
thing is, if we take it seriously, Draven can't be played into this composition because Lissandra and Gnar will absolutely smash him in mid-game teamfight. So I think they've already got an answer to that. Just looking for Kid for his mobility in the mid-game and being able to move around the map nice and quickly, also shove some turrets out.
Yeah, and of course having this Braum here as well is going to really make Kid's life a whole lot easier when it comes to blocking those auto attacks to come through as well. This guy's really tanky, especially with that Unbreakable. Crystal looking at a potential Callista here. Could also be dangerous, and Beast may yet lock in that Rengar.
Yeah, I like the hover here coming out of Crystal. Able to throw that Thresh into the middle of the team, get a nice box down, and then a lot of follow-up AoE can come through, especially if we see a Runan build. And actually, wow, going straight back to... Crystal has no cares in the world.
No fear.
Playing a Draven, an immobile carry, into someone that has an Ice Tomb prepared for you, as well as a Gnar that can CC you for roughly about 29 minutes, I think it is, is just going to ensure that he can't move if he is engaged upon. Couple with that with the fact that Kid is on Sivir, going to be able to get people on top of him even quicker.
Yeah.
This is a dangerous pick coming in for Snake now.
Very, very frightening. And the Vi being potentially looked at here on the side of Invictus Gaming. They never want Crystal on this map.
This is a remarkably similar comp that we saw in the NALCS this morning, played into Liquid, where they were just like, welcome to America, Piglet. You're going to die repetitively. And that is exactly what they're running here. They are running a dive Crystal composition, kill him, and then there's not enough damage left on the map to deal with it. As long as they have something that can deal with Baka, then yeah, they can get through, once again, this 2 damage heavy lineup.
Yeah, and they're focusing so hard on Crystal here because he is on this Draven, but you haven't factored in the fact that Flandre is on the top lane Jarvan, who can actually do a whole lot of work and do a whole lot more damage, and especially Baka sitting on that Kassadin as well.
Yeah, so Flandre, if we hit on that quickly, is kind of the counter to Sivir. able to get in Siva's face, and Siva doesn't have that raw power to be able to shred through a tank-heavy Jarvan like that. However, we'll be forced to play a little bit of a peel game this time. I'd be surprised if they were able to dive onto Crystal. One last thing I want to hit on about Champions League before we get into the game is the fact that they left the jungle pick for last, meaning that Cacao wasn't going to be counterpicked by something like a Morgana. There was nothing that could save Crystal once he had locked in that immobile carry. Had something in his back pocket to pull out and try and deal with it, and I really like that.
Yeah, and we know that Cacao's champion pool is gigantic. Has played the likes of Nocturne here in the LPL already. Is able to mix that one up as well. So looking forward to seeing how he performs on this Vi and whether changing up that champion rotation, getting him on something that may be a little bit more unique, actually puts Invictus Gaming into a better mindset going into this one.
And has a terrific early game throughout the jungle, able to take very early dragons, just clears extremely efficiently. So Vi, not something that we see a lot in competitive play, has come out a little bit more from the likes of Ro coming through. And I really like the fact that they're able to mix it up and pull something out different here.
Yeah, and we'll see whether he's actually going to be able to capitalize on it because, of course, yeah, we'll see. But let's get on to the Rift.
I said don't move it. I'm going to pause. Alright, I'm going to go again.
And ladies and gentlemen, we do have a pause immediately as soon as we get back into the game. So a little bit unfortunate timing there, but let's just go over these matchups just one more time because, of course, Lysandra Cassidy there in the mid lane. Stop laughing at me. I'm losing my mind.
No, that's all right. Lysandra Cassidy coming through in the mid lane. Actually, a surprisingly easy matchup for Cassidy. Can trade extremely well with that Q. Push out with getting a couple of extra points into the E early. Will be interesting to see how safe he wants to play because if you get maybe 3 points, you can trade extremely well into the Q and then just push it out with the E. So I like the matchup. I don't think he's going to be in too much trouble. Not really much kill pressure that comes out of Lysandra. Will relentlessly shove, but hey, she doesn't in any lane.
Yeah, that's entirely true. The thing is that I'm looking at is Cacao on this Vi. Not only is it fantastic for locking down Crystal on that Draven, it's also one of the best champions for locking down a Cassidy. Of course, that Rift Walk, fantastic for getting him that mobility. But if you've got enough damage in order to follow up from that Assault and Battery, which locks him down for that portion of time, you are going to be able to get into his face. And then you've got the Frozen Tomb as well to continuously lock him down. He's not going to be going anywhere, and you can just take that champion off the map.
Yes and no, because the way this works is you're in the middle of the lane, you're a Cassidy. And unless you've used your Rift Walk, Vi ults you, and then you Rift Walk back to your turret, then you flash and you're about at your Nexus, and Vi dies because of how far Cassidy can travel across the map. You throw in the fact that they all go second items on your Hourglass, you dive a turret pretty much every single time you ult that guy, and he is immune to damage. So I think that won't be the target. I think it will actually be more of a top lane. Flandre is an extremely aggressive player, and if he flags and drags aggressively trying to get into Pokemon's face, it means he has no escape. Vi and Jarvan, both very similar champions, fantastic at going forward or backwards, but can't do both.
Yeah, we'll see whether he actually can capitalize on that one because I don't know. The lineup from Invictus Gaming just looks way too strong.
Yeah, the Invictus Gaming lineup on paper actually looks like there weren't many bans that comes through. Then you look at Snake's lineup and you go, yeah, maybe there actually wasn't bans at this part of the game. But both teams definitely got something different that they want, and we're actually onto the Rift.
Yep, onto the Rift, ladies and gentlemen, for Game 2 between Snake and Invictus Gaming after that brief pause to start us off. Snake now on our blue side and Invictus Gaming on the red. Cacao moving around to this red side of the map, and Beast hanging out here as well as Nunu bot. Cacao having a giggle, and they're just sort of facing off here, and you can see no real invades coming through at the beginning. Pokemon just taking a little while to get into that top side.
Yeah, so a little bit. Kid and Kitties will once again struggle in this lane, I think. Braum is definitely better at mitigating damage, so that will go a long way to help them try and trade. But unless they get some really nice boomerangs down the first couple of levels, they still might struggle. I'm surprised we haven't seen something like a Graves Annie in response to this Draven that can just blow him up and get him off the map nice and early. We'll have to see how this one works out.
I could imagine that an Annie would be a fairly dangerous pick as well, because after that stun wears off, I mean, it's about 2 axes to the head, and she's basically gone.
If you were a Draven and you lived through Graves Annie's burst, I would be very surprised. But
I'm not a Draven.
We'll see when it comes through. Minions have spawned. Jungle is starting once again on the top side of the map. Looks like Pokemon will be starting up those Krugs for Cacao, and Nunu just soloing out a blue buff for himself.
Yeah, both solo landers from Snake actually heading back to base here as well. So it is going to be Beast taking down that Gromp on his own. Flandre is going to come up through. Actually, he's going to make it there in time.
Yeah, so possibly we'll throw down a standard just to give a little bit of attack speed coming through. So nicely done, Cacao. Up there, starting off his camp as well.
More than happy just to fend those ones off. So nothing really too interesting happening in the jungle, apart from the fact that Kid managed to get that level 2. And Snake, Crystal and Ella actually taking the experience from that one, so going to take them a few creeps before level 2 is achieved by this bottom lane from Snake.
Yeah, and this is what we mentioned they needed to do. They needed to get some early harass down, and straight away they start the brawl.
Yeah, and Kid actually at this level 2 mark, able to put a lot of damage down onto Ella here, as you can see. And Crystal able to play really far up this lane. Has hit level 2 now as well. Descent's going to be flashed out of the way of, and that is a 2.5 minute flash.
Yeah, so they had the timing to get the level 2 onto Kid and try and push it. However, Crystal prioritized minions and were able to shove out the wave, get the minion advantage in their favor. And once they hit level 2, went aggro, burnt the flash.
Yep, beautifully played here by the Snake bottom lane. And it's what we were expecting. They've been playing brilliantly all night.
Take a look at this mid lane. Lysandra just trying to push out the wave. She will be very good at shoving throughout. Cassidy actually being starved to CS. Only at 5 at this point. 16 to Rookie.
Yeah, that's 2 full waves that Rookie's managed to pick up, and not even one managed to be achieved from Barker here. But you have to think that the scaling potential is in the favor of Cassidy here in this matchup, but Lysandra doesn't do too badly either.
Yeah, and this seems to be a little bit of a early buy going back, looking to bully even further, picking up the second Doran's ring. So nice pick up there coming from. And overall, actually, all 3 lanes on the side of Invictus Gaming now winning this time. Beast looking to change that, coming in for his first gank.
Yeah, Cacao is here for the potential counter gank though, and you can imagine that Snake do want to get this lane ahead as early as possible to make sure that they can. Oh, the flash into the flay here as well. The Unbreakable to come through from Kitties, but Cacao, he's trying to come through. There's a Vault Breaker onto Ella and Beast as well. Crystal immediately gets exhausted, but that has run out. He's a little bit far back as Cacao forced to use that flash to get out of there. No one dying, but everyone on Invictus Gaming very low.
And once again, you have to question the target prioritization coming out of Cacao. Goes onto the Nunu, of all people.
He just doesn't like Nunus, I don't think.
Yeah, really wants to get in his face and try and mix it up. And without the burst damage going down onto Crystal, he was in no danger of dying. Only the flash burn of Crystal. On the other side, so many summoner spells now down. Cacao's flash, Kitty's flash, and exhaust. This bottom lane, once again, going in the exact same favor as last.
Yeah, and it was actually Ella's flash, so Crystal's more than fine. I mean, Kid manages to keep his flash as well, and the heal on top of that, so still doing okay in that department. But you have to say, going well so far for Snake here on the bottom side, but it is very early days, and it's a completely different team comp from Invictus Gaming this time. And we were mentioning exactly why it's so beneficial, and you can see in the mid lane that being demonstrated. Barker is having a rough time.
Yeah, Barker certainly is. He's actually managed to close the gap by a little bit, though, but is taking continual harass. Really nice Q out there to get the shield up before he would have eaten that the ice from Lysandra. But overall, that mid lane definitely swinging in IG's favor. Rookie played very, very well last time around, though.
He really, really did. That Azir looked very, very comfortable for Rookie. And Barker, he does have a broken arm, remember, ladies and gentlemen, so might be affecting his ability to play, but not too much, as we have seen. Flandre getting caught by Pokemon here as this Mega Gnar.
Yeah, so
very even up here, though.
Much better laning phase coming out from Pokemon this time, though. Hasn't been ganked, isn't down in CS like he was last game, has been able to bully his way through it a little bit, picking up that cloth armor as a first time around. And Rookie now looking to get in behind the bottom lane. Hasn't got that much mana, so we'll have to use it pretty effectively.
Yeah, also doesn't have level 6 yet either, which is quite interesting, but Snake are pushed up very far. Winter's Bite is going to find Ellie here as well. As there's the flash into the W from Rookie coming through, but Crystal turning it around as quickly as possible. Rookie going down so low. Isn't going to actually die because Ella's going to fall down, goes into his tomb, but Crystal able to get adored after that one. And Flandre with another beautiful teleport. There's the Cataclysm to come down. Kid, he's going to flash out of the way of that one. And another teleport to come through. Pokemon comes down. Doesn't quite have Mega Gnar, but Flandre, he is dead, unable to flag and drag, and the double bounce from Pokemon. He's going to get hyped, about to transform here as well. Crystal is under the tower. His flash misses the Gnar with a beautiful flash from Crystal, and they're turning it back around here as well. Beast has come in. The Wallop comes through, but doesn't find anyone.
Yeah, Crystal's mechanics really on display there. Perfect flash out of that Gnar. I was going to say Pokemon held onto that teleport for a very long time, almost to a fault, but were able to turn it around. They go 2 for 1 in that trade, so not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad at all, but Crystal didn't die and now has a lot of money in his back pocket. Look at that, 2.4 thousand gold. He's going to go back and buy anything that he likes.
Yeah, big spender at this point in the game. I actually don't think anyone on IG died in that last exchange. Even Kitties was able to survive being that big tanky Braum. And now Crystal going back, we'll be able to see what he picks up as his first major item.
Yeah, you could imagine the Vamp Scepter and the BF Sword a likely buy, as it does actually come in there.
The Prophet, able to watch last game and apply that to the next one.
Or every single game that Crystal's played Draven. Wasn't a difficult one to predict, ladies and gentlemen.
Now we actually see Baka has caught up nicely in CS now. Now that he's got that Catalyst Protector, Rookie is trying to roam around the map and make plays. Has been pinged out here, but what they might not know is Kitties is also in the top lane. So whilst Flandre might be expecting 2, I highly doubt he's expecting 3.
Yeah, the Braum not often in the top lane at 7 minutes into the game, but Rookie going to back away here because Flandre sensed something was wrong. He just thought that things weren't working out. Does manage to get a ward there in the brush. And Kitties is going to head back to no avail. Kid now does have to contend with the 1v1 here on the bottom side, and you can imagine that he's sort of whinging in chat at this point, saying, Kitties, come back here.
Yeah, all he's going to try and do is shove that in because he's trying to make Crystal choose between hitting him and hitting creeps. And whilst he might be confident that Crystal might try and hit the creeps, I'm not so sure about that one.
I'm not so sure about that one either, and he's a whole Vamp Scepter ahead at this stage. Doesn't have boots, but that W does give him a lot of movement speed, so Kid really does have to be careful on this Sivir. But you could imagine that Kid going to have a lot more sort of team fight utility power as this game goes on. So not too bad.
Yeah,
and he's only down 6 CS.
Kid's whole job is to make sure someone gets on top of Crystal. One of the 3 people, even 4 people, Braum can get on top of him as well. If one of those people get on top of him, then Kid has pressed his R button correctly and can probably just look to try and take out Flandre in these team fights.
Yeah, attack the closest target.
Oh, and Flandre actually, we hit on the top lane builds a little bit at this point. We see Ninja Tab Eyes and Chain Vest coming out of Pokemon. Very standard items for the Gnar, but a Brutalizer being picked up from Flandre in the top lane. Not going for that early Tiamat, deciding instead that he needs some more Armor Shred.
Yeah, and we've been seeing a lot of amazing Jay picking up this J4 in the top lane, and he's been picking up the Tiamat as the first item, but Flandre adding a little bit of extra flavor this time. And it might just be because he went back, you know, he had 1,337 gold. Decided to pick that one up.
That could definitely be it. Or he could be going for an extremely aggressive build and be looking to pick up both, of course.
Yeah, maybe.
Armor penetration coupled with Jarvan's passive is one of the best stats for a Jarvan in the game.
I didn't know that. Of course, you couple it with his Q. Not bad.
Pretty good. As we see a little bit of a hook coming through.
Yeah, Descent's actually landing in the bottom lane. Kitty's going to take that one. He's fairly tanky. There's a nice Glacial Fissure just to disengage as Beast finds his way through. And Krista, with these spinning axes, wants to kill someone with them, but unable to find the target.
Yeah, but once again, double ultimates. Burns in the bottom lane, so nothing going to be available for the first Dragon fight. It is about 10.5 minutes through, so they will be looking to utilize Nunu to pick that one up, although might have gone a little bit too deep here into the jungle. Cacao looking to cut them off.
Yeah, Beast is going on an excursion here as Cacao's coming up through. Ella going to be forced to use that flash. There's the Dark Passage to come through as well, but Rookie's here. The absolute zero to come down. The W from Rookie. Oh my goodness, that ultimate doing so much work as well. Beast is going to wander out, but they'll take the kill.
Yeah, and whilst last game Lee Sin might not have been the best recipient for kills, Vice scales unlike any jungler, either getting tanky and getting CDR to really get those E's off for more of her W passive, or going for that Trinity Force build, can just rip teams apart with some gold.
Yeah, with Crystal now, Kitty's going to come right up into his face, but he's not going to mind about it too much. And you can see Invictus Gaming already off to a fantastic start. Only about 500 gold in the lead, but the fact that they're in the lead at all is brilliant considering how the last game went.
Yeah, and Crystal continuing to harass 2 members under a turret. And wow, this Draven.
Yeah.
This
Barker actually
Draven.
putting the pressure on Rookie here. Knows that that Frozen Tomb is on cooldown. So able to put a little bit of pressure back onto this Lissandra. Has actually exceeded the CS of Lissandra here as well. And on his way to a relatively early Rod of Ages as well.
Yeah, actually nearly has that gold for it right now as a 500, so he does have it. He's also gone for the 3 points in Q. Now he's maxing out that E, so definitely feeling confident in the lane.
Yeah, doesn't need too much of that shield in order to keep himself up, and just wants to maximize that damage in an AoE, which could be fantastic if Invictus Gaming do want to fight.
So
Snake with
Dragon
this
being started up, they're actually going to be able to sneak this one away. It doesn't look like IG want anything to do it. So once again, using this Nunu pick, getting some early objectives.
Yeah, neutral objectives seem to belong to Beast. We see this all the time, able to take control of those. He loves playing this Nunu, who is a fantastic champion for it, but still, you have to credit Beast's ability to take these when he needs to.
Yeah, and Kakao looking to clear out some vision around this mid lane. Maybe he wants to go on that right, and wow!
Whoa, Kid taking a lot of damage there on the bottom side as Crystal's going to juggle those axes towards him. And Kid and Kitties just can't enter this lane. They have to be farming under their turret from now on.
Yeah, they certainly do. Actually, that kill and couple of assists that Kid was able to pick up has put him relatively equal in gold. Has gone back for the... Oh, wow.
Yeah, Barker getting caught by the Frozen Tomb there as well. Assault and Battery not available. Oh, Whirling Death to come through. There it is. Assault and Battery, slam dunk, and Barker's dead.
Yeah, so Kakao didn't want to use that one, was hoping the last tick of Ignite would be enough, but picks up another kill for his team. So he's 2-0-0 and having a much better early game this time around. Beast not able to impact, has just been trying to farm as a Nunu, and really Kakao with this Vi is starting to pull a little bit further ahead.
He is, and he's picked up another longsword here as well. We'll see what he decides to build into on this Vi. Looks like he might be going for a bit more damage, unless it's going to be that Hex Drinker build, and then into tanky after that. We see that a lot coming out of these junglers, and we'll see what Kakao decides to do.
Yeah, I'd be very confused if he went Hex Drinker into a 1 AP damage threat, so I think
point.
it will be something
He's
a little bit more aggressive. Maybe go for a Brutalizer, maybe even that Phage to keep himself sped up, and Crystal re-enters that lane, so exit Kid.
Yep. But as you were mentioning, the fact that Hex Drinker not necessarily the best idea, it is what he's going to buy.
Wow, so he's gone Hex Drinker into a 1 AP comp. Hex Drinker is an extremely stat-efficient item if the shield is used. Actually breaks just even if it's not used as a shield. So off-roll AD is definitely a good pickup, but there are other things out there that does benefit Vi's kit. So looking for a bit of aggression with some early AD does lend some pseudo-tank stats.
Whoa. Also going to pick up the blue buff here for himself is Kakao.
Yeah, so maybe trying to use more of his ultimate. Recognizes that he has to get around the map and be that carry. It was definitely deliberate because he threw another punch into there to make sure he secured it.
Yeah, I saw that as well. So Rookie recognizing that the cooldown reduction not as important on him at this stage, especially considering the fact that Frozen Tomb is back available once more, and he has a Morellonomicon and the Lucidity Boot, so he's got 40% CDR anyway. So
yeah, so
even matter.
Certainly looks like Rookie is around the 40% CDR mark. If we just take that out, 38.75. So he definitely doesn't need that blue buff unless it is for just mana regeneration. Whereas Kakao feels pretty good with a couple of kills, thinks he can fly around the map and get some work done.
Yeah, does have that Assault and Battery available. He's going to see whether he can utilize it here on the top side of the map as Flandre is going to be poking his spear into Pokemon.
And Pokemon, if he wants to go, needs to go now. He does.
Yeah, Nas Flandre into
wow.
the wall. There's a Vault Breaker as well. The Assault and Battery is available if he needs it, but he doesn't. Oh, the Cataclysm to lock Pokemon in. Is it going to go in time? One more, and it's not going to be enough. Pokemon barely survives.
Pokemon either with the greatest timing or a very lucky Nah that actually stopped it in the middle of the flag and drag. So Flandre had no chance of getting away from that one. In the bottom lane, however, we see Kid and Kitties had to back off. Crystal forcing them out of the lane.
Yep, once more, and Beast is around here as well. So again, the saving grace for Snake is this Draven in the bottom side, but Crystal has to be frightened as this game extends because he doesn't quite have as much of a lead as he had in the last game. And there are so many ways to kill him on this IG lineup.
Yeah, and they need to be careful because Pokemon's back in base actually has picked up a Warden's Mail, and there is a perfect ward behind the Snake lineup that he could teleport if they so choose to. Wisely grouping up and backing out as a unit, Pokemon won't go in.
You're not going to be going in this time. Flandre has that teleport available as well. You know that he has an itchy trigger finger on that one. We'll see whether he does utilize it. The home guard boots we use to get back into lane just as quickly as possible.
And wow, Kakao not stopping at a little bit of aggression, has now picked himself up a pickaxe.
Could he be going for more of Malmortius early on as the Frozen Tomb's going to come in on Barker again? Kiddies is there, wants to get himself an assist. Rookie does manage to secure it with that Ignite this time.
Yeah, so Rookie and Kakao pairing up very well in this mid-game, getting their team ahead. The response is from Crystal to just shove out this lane as hard as he possibly can, but now they're invading onto the blue buff of Snake, so much more control coming through this game.
Yeah, Invictus Gaming, they just want to focus on the side of the map that Crystal isn't on and get advantages there.
Yeah, actually looking to even, on that note, push in the top lane turret, pick up another an objective for themselves. That will be their first turret of the game. And this puts them in a quite good gold advantage. 3,000 gold at about 17 minutes in.
Yeah, Invictus Gaming certainly doing well, and they're playing so intelligently around the fact that, yeah, Crystal, you can get ahead, mate, but we don't mind because we will gather these objectives around the map away from where you are and capitalize on these good matchups that they've managed to get for themselves, and especially the incredible ganking power of Avai.
Yeah, and once again, just to pay testament to Crystal's Draven, his team is 3,000 gold behind. He is 1,000 gold ahead.
Yeah. Now those adoration stacks do some work on the side of Draven, but now has that Bloodthirster and has gone into the Brutalizer here as well. So a little bit of a change up from his build. Not going to be able to build that straight up Last Whisper.
Yeah, it means it will be a little bit harder to deal with this Nah, who has rotated down.
Yeah, has the Warden's Mail and, of course, the Sunfire Cape as well. Sunfire Cape, an interesting buy-on Pokemon here, not sort of aiming for a little bit more abilities in this mid-game.
Yeah, we see it Nah use it as an offensive item into armor shredding lanes. So things like, attack damage lanes, as he gets a little bit caught out in the mid lane. Thing like Jarvan, the auto attack, we are Nah able to use it as that pseudo-offensive lane. We generally see him go the Hex Drinker if he's against an AP, and it was the early Maw of Malmortius finished off by Kakao.
Yeah, he's finished it off already, and we saw him actually build this when he used to play the Kazakhs. His Pokemon's actually gone in aggressively. The Rift Walk going to be used to get out of the way of the Wallop, and he's going to take an Ice Blast, but not going to really get anything from it, but really didn't expend much.
Yeah, Pokemon probably needs to back away now and utilize his teleport to get in. It actually looks like IG is looking to start up the Baron. No, they have sent Pokemon back. Good move there. He's going to go back, heal up, be able to get back into the fight with that teleport.
Yep, this is going to give Snake an advantage as far as vision is concerned around this Dragon area. Using all of the sweepers that they have, 2 more available in order to sweep this one out and pick up these wards. But they are going to start this Dragon off straight away. And the teleport going to come in immediately here. On the Hunt's being popped as well. There's the Glacial Fissure to come down, and Crystal is in the backline. Kakao is going to go straight onto Barker. He hates Nunu. It's a Cataclysm to come in. That's going to get rid of him straight away. Rookie is getting melted. The flash forward from Crystal picks up his first kill. Pokemon's here as well. The flash into the gigantic 4-man Nah from Pokemon. What a huge play. But Crystal, he's still alive. Kiddies is so low. Pokemon is going to die. Crystal picks up the kill. And Barker again. No one dead. A 5-man ace from Snake.
Yeah, clean ace coming through. They need to make sure that Beast isn't the recipient of that Flame Breath in the pit, but Crystal going into the bottom lane to clean up the rest of that CS, and wow, what a team fight. Things just went horribly for IG.
But that was one of the best Nahs we've ever seen, and let's see it again.
Yeah, so they go in, and once again, a little bit questionable prioritization here from Kakao. Goes in, grabs up Bucker, not Crystal, and Crystal just full health, able to free hit on Rookie as well as Kakao, the 2 Fed members. Kid gets taken out here, and this is where the team fight nearly turned on its head because it's a Sivir who does so much AoE damage, and Pokemon's massive Nah came through, was actually chasing Beast, whereas if he had turned around and maybe dealt with Crystal, could have taken him out. But in the end, what a team fight. Much better prioritization coming out of Snake, taking out the 2 main carries, and for some reason, Kakao diving onto that Kassadin.
Well, Kassadin was actually right on top of Crystal's Draven, so maybe actually just misclicked here. That could have been potentially what went wrong, but definitely a mistake nonetheless, and at least it wasn't the Nunu. I actually said that it was the Nunu that he jumped on, but it was in fact Barker, not Beast, so not just purely focusing Nunu.
And with that, Crystal is now about 3,500 gold ahead of his lane opponent, 4,000 gold outright. He's picked himself up an outright Last Whisper, and is
no magic
once
mantle.
again unstoppable.
completely ridiculous. Going towards that QSS as well, which is going to make him virtually unstoppable, especially once the Mikhails comes in. That's obviously what Ella is going to be picking up next. He's going to have so much ability to get out of this CC. We'll see whether it's going to be enough. Of course, that Frozen Tomb probably going to be the one that he really doesn't want to get hit by, but there are lots of options from Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, there certainly is. So this game definitely not over. Invictus Gaming once again picking a fight that they did not win and giving away a good mid-game advantage, but the gold's still within touch. It's only 1,000 in Snake's favor. But with this Draven just getting bigger and bigger, there's no one within 2,000. Rookie is the closest to him in 3,000 gold.
Yeah, and why hasn't Crystal just played Draven every single game that they've played so far?
Yeah, and this is a very hard composition to play Draven into. We saw everyone dive in the backline, try and get on top of him. Pokemon even landed a fantastic ult in the end. You think if that ult was at the start of the team fight, it would have been a very different story. So maybe just need to wait for that Mega Gnar, play around their cooldowns a little bit better.
Yep, this Crystal's going to make his way to the mid lane here as well. That inner turret in the bottom lane didn't actually go down, but he shoved it up very effectively. Oh, Glacial Fissure going to come through. Crystal going to dodge out of the way of that one. It snags Ella, though. Cacao's here, wants to try and make something happen, but here's the teleport from Flandre. Pokemon is about to transform, gets hit by a Death Sentence, but not going to be too worried about it as the Wallop comes through. Ella's going to die. That might be all they can pick up, though.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay because Flandre had stopped his teleport. Wasn't coming in. A little bit of miscommunication. He's sitting there trying to take out a top turret and they re-engage onto it. Pokemon able to get in there with all of that CC, so they pick up a kill, lose a turret, but now trying to siege down this mid lane.
Yeah, Pokemon has transformed back into Mini-Gnar here as well, as Whirling Death just going to be used to clear out these minions. Does it very effectively as Beast is coming in here as well. Stand behind me. Going to be used by Kitties to get him out of there, and Barker going to potentially come through to try and get some Force Pulses. Home Guard's coming through now from Flandre as he's pushed out that top wave, and this might give Snake an opportunity because someone has to deal with the side waves that are pushing in favor of Snake.
Yeah, the bottom wave's actually pushing against Snake,
Oh,
so they
yes,
have to send someone to deal with that. Top wave will start pushing against them as well. That's the way it hits. If it hits the turret, goes to about 3/4 of the way down the wave, then starts building up slowly. So both waves actually in IG's favor now, just on their side of the map.
Yep, so exactly the opposite of what I just said, ladies and gentlemen. So Snake are going to have to deal with that at some point. We'll see whether they're going to do that sooner rather than later, but not looking to fight at this stage by the looks of things.
Yeah, actually electing to send who else but Crystal into that bottom lane. Maybe a little bit of a fight opportunity out of IG here. They've got all their ultimates up, and if there is one thing that they can do, it's fly across the map and isolate a target. The other thing they do really well is take out Baron, actually, with Hyper as well as Cacao's W damage.
Oh, exactly. The percent health damage potential is ridiculous on the side of Invictus Gaming. No wards are actually on there yet. Of course, Baron is a formidable opponent at 24 minutes, having just spawned. But you can imagine the later this game goes, the easier it will be to sneak that one away. But if they do it with Snake's knowledge, Beast has such a good ability to steal that one away.
Yeah, Beast definitely is able to get in there with that consume. He's also a pretty tanky Nuno at this point.
Man, I just saw that 4,000 gold deficit. Crystal has finished off that QSS, now has a Ghost Blade on top of that as well, so very, very powerful. And 2 items has not yet been completed from Kid. This is just such a difference.
He's 2 full items ahead of Kid at this point, as well as 100 CS. So if you ignore the CS part, he's still 2 full items. Kid's finally being able to go back, pick up that static shift, so that will help his upfront burst damage in these fights, particularly if a good Gnar goes across, but a lot of pressure really on Rookie and Cacao to be able to get this Crystal off the map.
Yeah, but Flandre is going to have no problem tanking up Kid's damage. No Last Whisper in sight here so far, and Glacial Shroud and that Randuin's Omen plus the Ninja Tabi has been completed on this Jarvan. So really going to be doing a lot of work, and Crystal now finds his way back into this mid lane. And some more pushing to be done here on the bottom side. So Invictus Gaming just looking to push out these waves. They don't want to fight Snake and looking just to pick up as many objectives as they can and get to that later stage as Flandre is going to deal with this bottom wave.
Yeah, happy to come in, deal with that one. Looks like Dragon will be the next objective that they fight over one more time, actually sending Kid up to grab his red buff before it goes through. But you have to think this time, a lot of pressure on Pokemon. How good will the Gnar be? Because unless this is a perfect Gnar, and Crystal dies during it, then there is a lot of bad news coming through.
Certainly is. He is actually about to transform into Mega Gnar right now. So has that full rage, is in Mega Gnar form, so that's going to be wearing off, and this might be an opportunity for Snake to engage because it takes a little while to build that rage back up again.
Yeah, and I don't know if Snake have the best engage yet. They still haven't been able to pick up a Zhonya's Hourglass on this Cassidy instead of elected to go for a lot of CDR. So maybe not the best chance to engage. Maybe just force an objective, let IG come to you, and then re-engage with your Nunu, all that zone control that comes out.
Yep, Scuttlecrab going to be taken here as well, and Dragon going to be the option here taken by Snake. They do have a lot of damage.
Pokemon needs to start poking because he has absolutely no rage. This one's just going to fall down. Nothing IG can do.
Yep, Beast easily going to be able to take that one down. Rookie's found his way into the back line, but he's dying so quickly. The Frozen Tomb to come on top of Crystal, but he manages to use his QSS. Crystal not going to be over the wall with a beautiful flash, and manages to take down Cacao as well, and now all the members of Invictus Gaming are dying. Pokemon the only one alive, but he's flashing out of there. A quadra kill already here for Crystal as he's now trying to take down Pokemon. The Wallop's there. The pentakill for Crystal. The second pentakill of the day for an AD carry.
Yeah, Crystal going absolutely nuts. 3 members had died in that fight before Pokemon turned into Mega Gnar. That's just not great management of the Mega Gnar bar. A completely inappropriate time for IG to fight, and Snake make them pay.
3,100 gold now sitting in Crystal's back pocket. 9-0-2, 100 CS in the lead. This guy is ridiculously strong, and he played that out so beautifully in that fight as well. QSS, the Frozen Tomb, flashing over the wall in order to pick up the next kill as well. It was just fantastic to see.
Yeah, it certainly was. Using terrain to his advantage is such an important part of being an ADC. Being able to get over that wall, so key. And everyone went for him. That was the layering of CC they wanted. They got the Frozen Tomb. They got the Assault and Battery. In the end, not enough damage. Too far ahead. Too good of a Draven player.
Yeah, and Snake just knew exactly how to play that out as well. They knew that they needed to protect Crystal, so they've got the Mikhails there already. They've got 2 Mikhails, in fact. Beast has even picked one of those up.
So yeah, this is turned into a full-blown keep Crystal alive. That is the whole job of the whole team now.
It's like they're carrying around one of those big cannons, and that's like all of their damage. So they're just firing these axes out of this guy that they're carrying around on their back. Beautifully done, and they're executing it so well, as you can see in the score. That's an outright Trinity Force picked up by Crystal, and so finally we've seen it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the raw damage that can come out of this build now with the Trinity Force procs coming through. With all of that AD, he's going to be extremely potent, and they've got onto him.
Yeah, they found him here yet again. Cannot take the Lantern. That's every ability possible. And I don't think that Draven's ever been that dead ever.
And if they can maybe rotate this into the Baron, they still have a chance in this game. That is a lot used to take out the AD carry, however. All of the ultimates expended.
Every single button that they had. Apart from Pokemon, of course, who couldn't actually choose to transform at that stage. But wow. That just shows how angry Invictus Gaming are at how fed this Draven is.
Yeah, certainly happy to pick up the shutdown gold, however. So that is a bonus coming through for Invictus Gaming.
Let's have a look. See you, Crystal.
So they used every ultimate but the Gnar available.
Oh my goodness. And here's the priority target. So took down the priority target. That is the win condition. And so they've done it. Maybe do it when you can then follow it up with a team fight.
Pack it up, boys. We're going home.
Mission accomplished.
So, yeah, that's what they need to do in the middle of a team fight. The problem is that they're going to have to deal with Flandre, Baka, as well as Beast running around and really causing havoc. And the cleanse, the 2 Mikhails, so there's pretty much 3 cleanses for this guy. Getting it done on a solo Crystal, that's an easy target. Picking him out of 5 people is going to be a little bit harder.
Yeah, and look at this as well. As we look down the Snake lineup, look at the amount of assists on every other member of the team. Flandre has got 100% kill participation in this game, as well as Crystal. So they are playing as a team so beautifully.
Yeah, they certainly are. They just are a very cohesive unit. You can see why these guys have bursted onto the scene coming out of LSPL. They're definitely a good team there. We heard of them as more of a carry top laner based team, and I think Crystal really took offense to that because he's trying to dispel that myth as soon as possible.
Look, I think we've got the message, and I think Invictus Gaming probably want him to just realize that yes, that's been achieved. We've got that one. Cacao's actually aware of the fact that this Baron's being taken here. Crystal did so much damage as Flandre's going to come through here. Winter's Bite's going to find its mark. Not going to be able to get
Pokemon cancelled his teleport.
And then started walking towards the Baron. Interesting maneuver. They actually want to go for the engage here because they know that it's been taken out. Rookie manages to escape at half health now, though. The members of Snake are going low. They haven't fully committed to this one. One of the exhausts is down onto Crystal. He's trying to re-engage here as well. Rookie comes in with the hero play, but Crystal has picked up another kill. That's a double. Are we going to have back-to-back pentas? He's got a third kill. No, that's going to be Barker picking up the fourth, and Pokemon now trying to do some work. Nars him into the wall, but Crystal is going to give away yet another kill. A triple and a double, and Barker says, yeah, I'm a carry too, Crystal. Stop taking all the fame.
So Barker able to get in there, really impact that team fight, but at the end of the day, an ace is an ace, and they're going to be happy with that. 1 for 5, one more time. Crystal going absolutely off, and got to question Cacal's priority once again, going over the wall, not going for the Draven.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that you can't QSS yourself out of or use that Mikhails to get out of as well is these knockups, is the likes of that Assault and Battery. So you have to question it, and we haven't actually seen one on Crystal yet, apart from that one in the mid lane where he's only had one
All right,
target.
so let's have a look at this again. Flandre thinks he has a great ultimate in there, but Rookie gets himself out, and whilst this is happening, they are doing well. They don't start losing this fight until Cacao goes over the wall because he has so much zoning pressure, and by the time he is able to ult him, it's just not good enough. He dove in on the wrong carry one more time. Pokemon arrived so late to that fight because of how he cancelled his teleport. Wasn't able to get enough done, and you just see all of the Mikhails coming through.
That was 3 cleanses, I think, in that fight onto Crystal.
Yeah, so Pokemon, whilst he can CC for a very long time, the answer to that, just get everyone on your team to buy Mikhails.
Yep, and he's now 7,000 gold in the lead. Is Crystal 12, 1 and 4. Completely 100% kill participation, but Snake are just playing out these team fights so beautifully. And what we were considering to be a mishap in their team comp by picking this Draven, who's so immobile theoretically, but when you have this many cleanses, my goodness.
Yeah, and it certainly looks like they're going to give it a crack one more time.
Yep, actually, it's going to be Flandre going in very, very far. Rookie takes one hit. He's almost dead here as well. Crystal makes his way into the fight. Barker's going to be able to take out the AD carry. Kid's dead. Crystal's at nothing in the backline. He is finally going to die as Invictus Gaming might actually have the engage that they want. A triple kill now for Barker. We've got a couple members alive. Cacao and Pokemon trying to do some work. Barker does fall down. Flandre and Ellen not with that much damage as Cacao is able to smash through this lineup. Nice Dark Passage to get Snake to safety, but a scrappy fight, 3 for 3.
And once again, you just see, even with a 10,000 gold deficit, the advantage of having a superior team comp. They definitely have a better set of players as well. Flandre tries to steal away the Dragon, might pay for it.
Yep, the Dark Passage is there, though. Last Hyper Proc. That is going to secure them that one. So first Dragon has been picked up now for Invictus Gaming. They do have a shred of hope left in this game, you have to think. And the boots have now been sold for Crystal, and we'll see what he decides to pick up instead.
Yep, so just wants to maximize his damage as much as possible. I think that if this game goes super late, IG have a really good chance of winning still.
Ooh, actually manages to pick himself up a pair of Mercury Treads.
Yeah, so just looking to get rid of even more CC. Doesn't really need that attack speed because of that W coming through as well as those spinning axes. So just follow the train of thought for a second.
Yep.
We've got Thorn Mails coming through. We've got a massive Vi now, who's got herself a Warmogs, going to probably go into a Thorn Mails after that as well. We've got a Frozen Heart now on this Braum. And we mentioned that they have damage problems in the late game. Flandre hasn't gone offensive at all. He's a big, beefy tank at this point. They're playing the Protect the Crystal comp. So if you get to a point, maybe another 10 minutes, where you've equalized the items, he's not getting any bigger at this point in the game. Then maybe there's still a shred of hope. A little tiny bit of fool's hope there is still for Invictus Gaming.
Well, we did see in that last fight that Invictus Gaming managed to get on top of Crystal, and they sorted that one out. So just see whether they manage to do it again. They'll have to do it another couple of times if they want to get back into this one. But you're exactly right. I mean, if they do manage to get to that ultra late game point, with enough Thorn Mails, you can stop him from doing too much damage.
Yeah, exactly right. So they just got to try and hold it together, maybe another 10, 15 minutes, not give too much away on the map, not get caught out, as Rookie and Cacao are looking to try and prove me wrong by just giving it away right now. But
ooh, they're a little bit split here as IG, unless they're going for some sort of flank attack. Rookie's going to actually show himself here on the top side of the map, and that is going to be the go button for Snake. Crystal going very far forward here. That inhibitor is still down, of course, but going to be respawning relatively soon. Is Crystal going to ignore the Lantern because he wants to get this farm? And Super Creep's going to be pushed into the base. So they want to go for this Baron, but the vision control is definitely in IG's favor.
Yeah, so much better setup from IG now this time around. Better wave control as well. Bottom wave doesn't even have to be paid attention to. That's going to push back in their favor, so that's fine. They've just had a transform on Gnar, so they need to stall until Gnar's back up, because we've seen how horribly wrong these fights go if Gnar isn't available. So stall this one out until Pokemon has his Mega Gnar back, and then look for a fight near a wall.
Yeah, see whether you can actually make use of that Gnar. And Pokemon, to his credit, has got some fantastic Gnars. He just needs to make sure he gets that transform at the time that he wants to.
Oh yeah, when he is Mega Gnar, he's performed brilliantly. It's just that he's not Mega Gnar when he needs to be Mega Gnar most of the time.
Yep. You got to be Mega all the time, Pokemon, please.
So we're seeing a little bit of a gank brush set up here. Beast trying to get some of that vision control back. They're trying to make sure that IG are walking into them. Their answer to that is to send Rookie around the back. Kiddies, you need to be careful.
Oh, the Descent's not going to land, but half of the health of Kitty's going to go in one auto attack from Crystal here. The Flay not going to find its mark either. Snake want to start something up.
Rookie's
Rookie coming in from the back for the flank, and Beast trying to get something happening. All 5 members are getting closed in upon. Pokemon's actually going to transform here early on. Crystal has found himself a decent position, but the members of Invictus Gaming, they're holding on to the trigger here. They want to find their mark onto Crystal as soon as they possibly can. Not quite able to make it. Barker is also huge. Has that Rabbitin's death cap. Doesn't quite have his Zonyas just yet. Flandre's found Kitties here as well, though, so they want to pick someone off, but no one really willing to pull this one in. There's a 3-man Cataclysm from Flandre. Traps people in there. Crystal's out in the backside, but does get caught by the Frozen Tomb. Beast trying to close people out, but Draven picking up more kills. Cacao's going to get eliminated. 2 kills already for Crystal. Barker as well in the backline, just wrecking face. And they waited for Pokemon to not have that evolution anymore and just start the fight there. The flash over the wall from Crystal as well, because he wants to get into that base and finish this game.
Yeah, it certainly does. Really well played in that last team fight. That's how you play against a Gnar, just making sure that you kite it out, keep your carry safe until he has to transform back into that little Gnar, and then just didn't have any weapons to use against this Snake lineup. Really well played.
It was so beautifully orchestrated as well. Every member of Snake knew exactly when they wanted to enter that fight, as he's going to just eliminate Kid. And was that 1.5 auto attacks?
Yeah, something like that. And wow, Snake pick up a 2-0. So IG now 3 in a row, I believe. They started 6-0. Now they're 6-6.
Yeah, and at this stage as well, that has put Snake in 2nd place in the LPL out of 12 teams. This team coming from the LSPL. A lot of people thinking that they didn't have a hope, but man, they were beautiful in this game, and I really want to get into this next replay because I just want to see Crystal go off.
Yeah, and they are so fun to watch. So if we chuck the replay up on the screen, this is where they're about to fight around the dragon fight. So as you can see, if we roll it out, Pokemon is nowhere near evolving. So get this one in. Rookie going for a flank, looks to get on top of Crystal. Able to lock him down there, get a little bit done, but in the end, there's just so much zone control coming from Crystal. After he gets Assault and Batteries, he flashes over the wall, just able to get so many free auto attacks down. Unfortunately, Kid gets locked up, and Pokemon gets a fantastic evolve here, and a really, no, this is actually the one where the pentakill comes through, so he doesn't even get a good nut, doesn't get to get anything off, and in the end, a very nice pentakill coming through from Crystal.
Yeah, that was actually picked up with the red buff as well, because everyone stopped because they wanted Crystal to be able to get his special pentakill, and then Barker ruined everything else on the way through. Yeah,
ruined the second one that we would have come through, but overall, playing something like that is just so difficult, and to be able to execute an AD carry focus comp like Draven against the lineup that they went against, that's very, very big respect to Snake.
Yeah, and they built so perfectly as well. 2 Mikhails, and of course that Mercurial Scimitar eventually coming through for Crystal as well, so it has so much ability to get rid of all this CC, and just so confident on that champion as well, and they knew exactly what they wanted to do. But this was not the last game for tonight. We still have one matchup coming up for you guys very, very shortly. It's actually going to be EDG taking on the Starhorn Royal Club, so guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with that one right after